each and every one of you have accomplished. Don't stop now. Keep your grades, keep your bodies clean, keep your mind alert. You'll go far in life. That's our challenge to you, because you are our next generation. Thank you so much. Now then, for the Hall of Fame inductees of the class, the 9th annual class of 2019. Before I get to this, I would like all the current members of the Cannon Courier Hall of Fame to please stand. God bless you all. Thank you very much. Our first inductee is going to be presented by Mr. Tony Stenick, and that would happen to be Miss Abbey Sissom.
All right, first of all, it is really a big honor for me to be here tonight and to have the honor of presenting Abbey Sissom for her induction into the Hall of Fame. I would also like to take this opportunity to congratulate all of the high school athletes for their endeavors and what they've done this year. I've especially enjoyed following the football team in the fall and their improvement and man, just you know, that close, a win away from your first playoff berth since '09. That I think shows a great future, and it was especially pleasing to follow the baseball program and what you guys have accomplished. You know, quite frankly, not just this year, and I would like to really compliment Colin Jones for the job he has done leading this group, because you don't get to the district championship and the region tournament without a lot of work going into that. So a great deal of respect goes to those guys and what you were able to do, especially Jacob Raines and Brendan Swartz, you know, guys that I was fortunate to know during my time here. So that was very pleasing to watch and to follow. But my main purpose tonight is to present Abbey Sissom into the Hall of Fame, and you know what a pleasure that is for me in particular, having first of all been involved with several of these Hall of Fames, the first 5 of which here at Cannon County, and Arna, you know, one of the very first in our first class. You know, I think you symbolize everything that is great about this Hall of Fame. Bonnie, you as well. I could go on, but again, that is really not my purpose tonight. Before I get into what I would like to say, I would like to read this letter from Coach Rick Insel, the head women's basketball coach at MTSU, who unfortunately was unable to be here tonight due to previous obligations with Conference USA and their spring meetings. But his letter says, "Dear Abbey, congratulations on your induction into the Cannon Courier Sports Hall of Fame. Coaching you was one of the most pleasant experiences of my 40-plus year career at the high school and college levels. So I was immensely elated when I learned of your induction. This honor is certainly most deserving. You are a Hall of Famer in every sense of the word. I often told people I would love nothing more than to have my granddaughters to grow up and be just like you. My little ones love you, but who didn't, Abbey? You are an absolute fan favorite at Cannon County and at MTSU. You always displayed such high character both on and off the court. You always did everything right. You played hard, you led by example, you were an honor student, you were loyal, you are the consummate teammate. Abbey, you certainly represented your family, your high school, your community, and Cannon County well during 4 outstanding seasons as a Lady Raider. Toughness is a great attribute you possess, and it was always on display. You played hurt, and probably played in some games when you should not have, but that's what competitors do. I admired your loyalty and passion to your teammates. They could count on you, and you never let them down. You never let me down as your coach either. You never were one for words or a lot of rah-rah, and you didn't have to be, as your actions spoke clearly and your leadership came by example. I vividly recall how thrilled I was sitting at this very event for my induction in 2013 when you verbally committed to play at Middle Tennessee. I was so happy to have you and your parents, Galen and Suzette, join our program. It was with great personal delight and satisfaction that I agreed that I signed you as the first women's basketball player from Cannon County ever to play at MTSU. It also gives me great gratification to say we share a spot in the Cannon Courier Sports Hall of Fame. There is no doubt Abbey Sissom's story is far from finished, far from it. I'm proud you allowed me to have a part of that. Now, that is signed Coach Rick Ensel, head women's basketball coach, MTSU. Now, we could just let that speak for itself. I think Coach says it all. But this is one of those times that I'm not going to let Coach Ensel have the last word. And we are videoing this, so he can see that later. While I'm thinking about it, Danny Young, what a great treat to be here tonight for your induction. I vividly remember where I was in the year 2000 when you made your major league debut for the Chicago Cubs against the New York Mets. And I also remember thinking many years since then, Danny Young is the only player in the history of Major League Baseball to be drafted where he was and make the major leagues. So, anyone that tells you that you cannot make the biggest stage there is coming from Cannon County, Danny Young says differently. And Danny, I did have that written down and kind of skipped over it, but I didn't want to miss out on that. And what a great treasure you are. And I think, if I'm not wrong, the first baseball-only player in the Cannon Courier Hall of Fame. So really enjoyed being here tonight for you as well. But anyway, back to, that letter from Coach Ensel was really good. But prior to 2010, I had no knowledge of Abbey Sissom, did not know her, did not know any of her family members. But I heard a lot about her before the first game she ever played at Cannon County High School. I never saw her play at Woodland. I never saw her play junior pro. I heard of her greatness and how she was going to break everyone's records. That's what I knew about Abbey Sissom. And my thought was, how do all of you people know this? First of all, she's coming out of Woodland Grammar School. She's going to play in the toughest high school district there is, 8AA. And if you don't believe me about that, just look at the teams from that district that make the state tournament year after year after year. And, so I'm thinking, first of all, that's a lot of pressure to put on one person. Second of all, the comparisons that I thought were most unfair were to Julie Powell and worse, to her sister. I never really quite understood that. But then, as I was standing on the baseline, early November 2010, and Cannon County was playing Boyd Christian. It's one of those Hall of Fame games early in the year. And Abbey was starting as a freshman, along with several seniors on that really good 2010-11 team that reached the semifinals of the state tournament. I remember vividly watching Abbey play, standing on the baseline and scoring 20-plus points. Miss Boyd Christian. Many of you could probably, you elderly, I don't say senior citizens, you could probably score 20-plus on Boyd Christian right now. But it wasn't about what she did and who she did it against. It's about, to me, how she did it. You talk about all of these expectations, which were really unfair, and you talk about all the pressure of following some really great people before her, and then the next day, literally the next morning over at Joe's, there were people commenting, I told you she was going to be better. Told you she was going to be better. Well, let me tell you, here's what I learned over the last 4 years. Sometimes you just know. You know when you see greatness. It's just that simple. And I knew that November afternoon on that baseline that I was seeing greatness. But I'm also going to tell you that I think what really helped was senior teammates. A really senior team. And part of that team was Emily Sissom, who was an outstanding sister and teammate. And through that year, man, I saw what a tremendous bond these sisters had. And you know, at times it was really tough even to get Emily to go back in there to get Abbey to come out for an interview. Or I would also hear her on the court, you know, from my seat there on the baseline, "Shoot the ball, Abbey! Shoot the ball!" You know, I'd hear that a lot in college too. But everybody wanted Abbey to shoot the ball. And what I learned was Abbey shot the ball because she had to shoot the ball, because she was just that good. But that would have been, if Abbey didn't score any points, that would have been fine with Abbey. Abbey would have been fine with assists, steals, rebounds, doing nothing at all but helping her team win. But what was required for Cannon County to succeed was for Abbey Sissom to be great. And she was. And again, to be expected to be great is one thing. But then to deliver, totally something different. And, you know, the qualities that I saw in Abbey, humility, passion, work ethic, and many more that we'll talk about, I think her parents, Galen and Suzette, as well as her grandparents, deserve a tremendous amount of credit, because one thing that I saw consistently in my time dealing with Cannon County student athletes, and the Sissoms in particular, was Emily, Abbey, Anna Grace, all great young ladies, very respectful, very well-mannered, and never put themselves amongst anybody else. And for that, I think that Galen and Suzette deserve a tremendous amount of credit, because you know, that really doesn't happen by accident. It happens by how you raise your children. So I would like to give them a round of applause. Numbers that you know, everybody knows, 3-time Miss Basketball finalist, only a handful in the state have ever done that, winning in 2014. The only person from Cannon County ever to do that, Miss Julie Powell. 2,606 points at Cannon County High School, all of this against defenses designed to stop her. But it's not just about the numbers, it's about when they came. Abbey could have scored a lot more points, could have had many more 40-point games, but usually the score after halftime was out of hand, and she never played full games, rarely ever played a full game. So when I look at her biggest games, I look at a tournament championship game in Warren County, when Abbey scored 43 points against Cookeville to lead Cannon County to that championship. More importantly, you should know that Cannon County was down 17 with 4 minutes to go in the fourth quarter, and Abbey scored every remaining point to get the team into overtime. I think about 46 points against Smith County in the Region 4AA semifinals. It's win or go home. It's that simple. And Smith County had a great player too, who, by the way, scored 43 that night, but not nearly as good as Abbey Sissom's 46. And then I think about one of the toughest moments of probably not only her career, but her teammates, as a senior losing to Livingston Academy in the region championship game. And what that meant was you have to go to McMinn Central, number 3 in the state, which had not lost at home all year, and had lost only 6 games at home, or 5 rather, in the previous 7. No one gave Cannon County a chance, but Abbey hit 5 of her 6 threes to start that game. Cannon County was up 13 at halftime and went on to win that game, which nobody does at McMinn Central. So the point of that is, it wasn't just the points in the games, it's that Abbey is a big-time player, a big-time competitor. And she would go on to do those same things at MTSU, where she was a 4-year letter winner, a 3-year starter, capped her career 6th all-time on the three-point percentage list, shooting 36% for her career, and she's 8th all-time at MTSU for three-point field goals made with 183. More than 900 points, 300-plus assists, 2-time All-Academic, and I think the greatest thing was all defense your junior and senior year, for all of those who said she couldn't play defense. Only 5 got put on that team in Conference USA. At Middle Tennessee, played all 3 guard positions, including point guard as a senior, which was the first time that had happened. So wanted to make those points not only about her career here, but also what she was able to do at Middle Tennessee at a very high level. Only 2 players in women's basketball from Middle Tennessee, or from Cannon County, have ever gone on to play Division I basketball on a scholarship. One was Julie Powell to Vanderbilt, the other Abbey Sissom to Middle Tennessee. And players like these are legends. These are the guys people will talk about for years to come. And I personally feel like I was blessed to have the best seat in the house for 8 of the last 9 years, Abbey. And that was watching you play, and more importantly, watching you compete. So it is my distinct pleasure to present Abbey Sissom for induction into the Courier Sports Hall of Fame.
Tony was going to get my waterworks going a little bit. First off, I just want to say thank you to Tony. When they called me and told me about this, and I knew I had to pick somebody to speak about my career and just about all of this, he was the first person who popped in my mind. There was nobody else who I would have rather had to do this for me, but I'll get back to you a little bit later. I just want to also say thank you to the Courier office for putting this whole night together, and along with the selection committee. There's a lot of history in Cannon County athletics, and I know as a former Lionette myself, it means a whole lot to me that somebody takes the time and puts the effort forth to put a night like this together, because we're very fortunate as athletes to be from a town like this who has such a strong community behind them that supports them. So to have people like the Courier and the selection committee just to put something like this together just means a lot to me. So I just thank you guys for being willing to do that. I know that none of this would be possible without those 2 groups. When I was putting this together, I kind of struggled what I wanted to say, because there's so many people who have impacted me, not only my basketball career, but just as a person. And it's so hard to put that into words about how grateful I am for all of those people that have impacted me. And there are really no words that I can say that will show the appreciation that I feel for the people who made me to the player I was and to the person I am today. And I feel so lucky to have those people around me still that have supported me throughout my whole career. There's so many stories and memories that I don't have time to share. So to everyone I thank throughout this, just please know that these words could never show how much that you really do mean to me and how much your impact has meant to me. First off, I just want to start by thanking my coaches. I was very fortunate throughout my career, starting all the way back in junior pro, my mom coaching me, all the way through grammar school at Woodland. So just having her, that was just special in itself, just to be coached by my mom and her passing her knowledge down to me. All of my AAU coaches I had over the years that I played for in the summer, Coach Dan, another Hall of Fame here, Beth Stark, and her husband Zach. It was through AAU that I really started to develop my love and passion for basketball. And I thank them for putting the effort into me, and that they saw something in me that they wanted to develop from such a young age throughout all my summers. So I just thank them, because they are who gave me my start so young, and so I just thank them for developing me. And then in high school, I could not have asked for a better coach than Coach Dodgen. I know he really believed in me as a player, and he allowed me to have the freedom that I needed to expand my game. And I know he made a lot of sacrifices. He drove from Cookville every day. He spent a lot of nights, I know, sleeping on his couch in his office, because he had stuff to do for us, late night games, and so he put a lot of sacrifice into being our coach. So I just thank him for that. And also to Coach G, he was the assistant coach when I was there. If you know him, you know how much time he put into Cannon County basketball when he was here, driving all over the place to get film, showing us the film, taking time out of his life, and just he really went the extra mile for us, and I know that without him we would not have been the team we would have been. And then going into college, another Hall of Famer here at Cannon County, Coach Insel. First off, I just thank him so much. I wish he could have been here so much, because I'm so appreciative of him for giving me the opportunity to be a Lady Raider and growing up and going to MTSU games. And I never realized how special that would be to get to wear that Lady Raider uniform, but it meant the world to me, and just everyone there is so close to my heart. He was so hard on me, but I respect and love him so much, and I think he's forgotten more about the game than I even know about basketball, and I learned so much from him about the game, and it wasn't always easy. He was pretty hard on me, like I said. I know Tony kind of mentioned the defense thing. Every single day of my freshman year, all I heard was, "You are the worst defender I've ever seen." I've never seen a word like, he'd be yelling at the assistant coach, like, "Have y'all ever seen anything like this? Like, this is terrible." And then I would just set my mind. I was like, I'm not listening to this for 4 years. So that was, I know I talked a lot about that in interviews and stuff. I really set that as a priority to get my defense better, to get stronger, get quicker, whatever I had to do. And then like Tony said, I ended up making the defensive team in our conference. So I was like, okay, maybe I'll just get my butt chewed out. It's working. It's getting me somewhere at least. But he really knows as a coach how to get what he needs out of his players, and I just thank him for honing in on me and being able to pull that out of me, because there was things that he taught me and I did because of him that I never thought I could do. He challenged me every day and pushed me to points I never thought I could get to, and I really feel like because of him I came out of college a completely different person than when I came in, just much stronger and tougher than when I came in as a freshman, and I thank him for that, for pushing me to be a stronger person. And it was definitely not easy to play for a coach like him, and Coach Kim, one of my assistants, she was kind of my rock. I would not have made it through without her, and she was another big reason why I chose middle, and just very thankful for the relationship I have with her, even now to this day. And I could go on and on with thank yous about all the people at MTSU that impacted me, every trainer, Dr. Johns especially, and he's been so much to athletes at MTSU, and I thank him for helping me with my injuries. Without him, I wouldn't have been able to get through and continue to play. Matt Riley, our strength coach, I thank anybody who saw me in high school to my freshman year of college. I looked like a completely different person. I was a stick when I went into college, and he really just worked with me and helped me get my body where it needed to be. And every single one of the managers I had at MTSU, if you think college athletes work hard, you should see our managers, because they work their tails off for hardly anything, and they just really went above and beyond for all of the players there. And all of the Lady Raider fans, if you want to see some loyal fans, go find some Blue Raider fans, because those people are just some of the most incredible people I've ever met. Not only were they at every game, at every practice, every shoot-around, we had people there just that wanted to be around us and support us and loved us that much, that they wanted to be there for everything. And on road trips that your parents couldn't be at, they would be there, acting like your family. And I mean, truly, just some of the best fans in the world are MTSU fans. To every single teammate I've ever had, I thank you, because without you, I would have been nothing. Basketball has given me so many things, but I think as an athlete, anyone can say the number one thing it has given me is the relationships, especially to my college teammates who became my very best friends, who became my sisters. I can't thank you enough for just being good teammates and even better friends. I think everyone knows playing college sports is not easy, and I could not have done it without them. I did it for them, and they were just very, very good support system. My friends who have been here with me through the way, Jeffrey, my best friend since kindergarten, he came to every game he physically could make it to. I remember my freshman year, my very first game of college, he came, and he went to UT Knoxville at the time, and he drove to the game in Murfreesboro, just for the game, nothing else. He came to my game and drove all the way back to Knoxville, and I'm so lucky to have a friend like him, and him as the Lion in high school, I'm so lucky to have a friend who supports me the way that he has. Miss O'Hara, Mr. Burks, Mr. Arna, Brad and Stephanie. I'm sure there are others, but some of y'all supported me through high school and watched me play and followed me to MTSU, and there was not any home games that I didn't look up and see one of them or all of them there. And I love this community and this town, and to have people around me from there who wanted to come and support me, that truly meant the world to me. And Tony Stennett, man, if there's anybody who's been through it all with me, it's Tony Stennett. From covering me in high school, and then he got the job at MTSU my first year there, and having him through it all was just so special to me, and getting to know him throughout the years. Like I said, all the way back from when I was in high school, from promoting me for Miss Basketball to the encouragement and support he gave me all the way up to the last game I played. I remember in our conference tournament, I sat out in the hallway. We had just lost in our conference tournament, and we sat out in the hallway, and I just cried to Tony. But that's just, he was always there for me whenever I needed him, and I can't thank him enough. Whether I needed to vent or just needed some encouragement or just needed a laugh, he was my guy. I think if y'all know Tony, he can always give you a good laugh whenever you need it. And I know I speak for my whole family when I say you've become like family to all of us, and we just can't thank you enough for all you've done, for me especially, but for all of us. I just want to thank my extended family. They really went above and beyond to make me feel loved and supported. Granny and Paul and Granny Faye, all my aunts and uncles, cousins, I wouldn't name y'all, but there's a lot of y'all that just, if you go to a high school game, I think all y'all can look behind that visitor bench, and there's going to be our family sitting there. And, I know my Aunt Missy has made a little enemy out of Upperman's coach Dana Mack, getting in her ear, and Trey, and I can still hear it to this day, hearing Uncle Steven saying, "Let's go Red." Whether we were wearing white or red, he was going to say, "Let's go Red." And it just, to have people around to support you, it was special. My career was special to me, but just to have the support that I did have from my family and them backing me, and it was just so special to me. And I've played a lot of basketball games in my life, and there have not been many that I didn't have at least one family member there for me. And that's going all the way back to junior pro. There was always somebody, people there cheering for me. And when people ask me why I chose MTSU, there's obviously a lot of reasons that went into it, but I always tell people one of the biggest reasons was it was so important for me that my family continued to get to watch my career. And so that was such a big deal to me. And if y'all go to Murphy Center at the women's games, you can look up there and see call it the Woodbury Corner, and most of y'all would probably know every face up there. And not only my family, but there's several Woodbury people who are there every single game, and I just loved having all those faces up there that I knew. And it just made my career that much more special just to have them. So just thank you to every good job that you've ever given me after a game, or every hug you gave me after a hard loss. Just having you guys there meant the world to me, and I hope you know how much it helped me throughout my career, just to have you guys there for me. To my younger sister, Anna Grace, I guess hers is more of an apology than a thank you. This kid was forced to grow up in a gym because of me and my older sister, so it's no surprise she's ended up playing and doing as good as she is up there at Cannon County right now. Just thank you for sacrificing for us from the time you were born. I know everyone used to feel so sorry for her at the game. She'd come in with her little backpack and get her dolls out and just go to the corner until it was time to go home. Because she didn't have any choice, she had to be there. But so just thank you for sacrificing your playtime as a little kid. And I'm so proud of you now, and getting to support you this year and getting to share you being a Lionette. It's been so much fun for me, and I'm just so glad that we have that to share now. To my older sister, Emily, my role model for everything. If you know me, I'm a competitor. Anything we play, I'm going to be competitive at it. And it all started, I think, because of Emily. Growing up, all I ever wanted to do was beat her, a one-on-one horse, whatever it was, literally anything. I just wanted to beat her. We usually couldn't even play because I would get mad and end up trying to hit her, or chucking the ball down the yard. I remember that was our thing. We have a pretty big backyard, and it was me. Whenever I would get mad, I would just take her ball and chuck it down the yard and be like, "Oh, now you gotta go get it." But just thank you for teaching me and helping me grow as a player and a person. I know I wouldn't be where I am without you. One of the most special times of my whole entire career was my freshman year, getting to play with her and just having her senior leadership kind of guide me as a Lionette. And you're just such an incredible teammate, sister, and person, and I'm just very thankful for the influence that you've had on my basketball career and my life. I guess I'm saving the best for last. To my parents. I truly cannot express how so very thankful I am